how to take control of your online reputation and drive more sales. So one thing that we've really noticed over the last couple of years, but especially over the last year, reviews have really become even more important than they already were for a number of factors. And so we're going to talk about that today and what you can do about that. And this is all part of our digital dominance method. We teach really a comprehensive approach towards online. You can't just pick one thing anymore. You really have to broadly cover everything to get the best results. And so this is part of a number of these, even PPC it touches, but obviously SEO and in particular maps. And so we'll talk today about why you can have all the right tools and yet still fail to drive reviews. How you can get more conversions with reviews, if you want to think of it that way, by doing multi-channel communication. So not just sending an email, but doing several ways. People respond to different things. That online reviews are a team sport. You need your team involved and bought in on it. Why you have to acknowledge and respond to all your reviews. It's actually an important ranking factor for a couple things. And then, how you can have this taken care of for you so that you can focus on your business. So let's jump right in. Why you should listen to me? I own Garage Door Marketers. We wrote a book on it, and we work with lots of garage door companies, so we know the industry pretty well. And I've been doing this a long time, owned an agency over 10 years now, and just have some experience. And like I said, we work with a bunch of garage door companies. So why should you care about reviews? They really do make or break your company online. And we see it time and time again. People will have all the things right that they need to, but their phones don't ring enough because they don't have enough reviews. It really does boil down to that. And in that case, and oftentimes in many cases, your online reputation doesn't even reflect the quality of service that you provide. You might provide outstanding service to your customers. You might get lots of repeat business to the extent that you do in garage doors. But your online reputation might not reflect that fact. And most people have solutions. Not everybody, but a lot of people have tools that they use. They might be using What's in Service Titan, or there's 1,000 tools out there that do this, but it's still not working. And this really is one of the most important things that you can get right, because when you fail here, it really clogs everything else up and just drives down your conversion rates, especially on maps. And your competition who does this well will get those calls. So this is really, really important. And so the opportunity here is, I think, pretty obvious. If you can get this solved and do this right, you can become the provider of choice in your service area and stand out from the competition. And if you think about how you shop online, I don't know anybody that doesn't look at reviews and consider them, even on a subtle level. If somebody had 500 reviews with an average of 3 stars, you're going to stay away from those guys. Conversely, if you have 5 stars, but there are 2 reviews, you might also stay away from them. So people really do gauge this. We see it in the data, and we push it with our own customers. And it's still, for a lot of companies, it's not taken seriously enough. And I think every webinar I do, I'm gonna pound on this. I think I mention it almost every time, and I'll keep mentioning it, because if there's one thing you can do to help your business grow, it's this. It's really this important. So now, to do this, you do have to leverage the tools you have. People are, unless they're mad, people are not going to seek you out and leave your review. Very rarely. And you know this. Everybody is hammering people for reviews. Now you got apps that you use on your phone that are bugging you for reviews now. I mean, it's annoying, honestly. And I don't want to be annoying. And I know you don't want to be annoying. But at the same time, because of how important reviews are, we really don't have a choice but to be a little bit annoying. So you kind of have to be creative and fun with it so you're not annoying. But you won't get the reviews if you don't ask, and your competitor who's asking, they're going to get them. They won't get them from everybody, but they just need them from some. And so that's kind of the objective that you should have. And when you can do that successfully, your reputation will speak for itself online, and it'll align your image with the quality of service that you do provide. And so you got to make that happen. And if you're successful at it, you will be the go-to garage door company in your area, and you'll rank accordingly. You see it in the maps every single time. And more so than seeing it in the maps and the geogrids, you see it in the calls. So the companies that do this well, it a huge return on investment, just huge. So do online reviews matter? Undoubtedly they do. And the recent stats, I don't know where my team pulled this from, but it would be recent. 84% of people trust online reviews as much as they do a personal recommendation. Blows my mind. But we see that. And a more interesting note is that 3/4 of people think that reviews older than 3 months are relevant. And I tend to think that's true. If you might get a burst of reviews, but if you're not consistently driving it, people are going to discredit them. They're looking for the 5-star review from the last 2 weeks of someone who is like, man, these guys are great. And it can be hard to get. It can, but the benefit that you guys have in garage doors is you generally have a fairly high volume of customers, and you have a lot of at-bats to get reviews, right? So you're in a good spot compared to some other industries where they might only do a couple projects a week or a month. It's much harder for those guys than it is for you. So online reviews are mission critical, and we've touched on this a bit. They're really important because of the maps. But even in ads, like here, this is a screenshot they took of an ads result, and you can see sometimes the ads will show in the maps. So we're seeing this increasingly in Google, even in the 3-pack, which is supposed to be safe. They're popping ads in there, and if you have good reviews, they're going to pop those reviews in there too. So you can see that this company, which may be a customer, I should know, but I can't remember. No, they're just close to the office. I don't know if they're a customer or not. Should be. Let's give them a call. But they've got the top map spot here, and they also have an ad spot there. So in the map pack, which is the greatest spot to be, they've got the top 2 spots. That's perfect. It's exactly what you want to see. And our data bears this out. So we looked at a cross section of leads, I think 2 months of last year, right? Kind of in the busy time. And what we saw was that a majority of leads come from maps. So 56.5% of leads come from maps. And who gets those leads? It's the companies that show up, number one. But then of the ones that show up, it's the ones with the most and the best reviews. So you've got to get those to get those calls. And it's so important. It is the business driver. And you can see another third is from Google Ads. We've talked about that before. But Google Maps is a huge priority. And the number one thing you can do to drive your Google Maps, and there's other things, obviously, but number one is reviews, especially if you can get your customers to leave them on their mobile devices at the point of service. Very powerful. And that's what you want. That's what you want to aim for, to the extent you can. Again, you want to have a multi-step approach here. And so why are they mission critical? They impact your Google rankings, and specifically the maps. Not so clear on the organic that it has much of an impact at all, but without a doubt, we watch them. When customers are having successful review campaigns, we can see the improvement in the geogrids every time. There's no doubt about it. And again, a vast majority of customers look at them, and it's because of that, it's a major conversion factor. And again, we'll see it too. We'll see people who have a great looking geogrid, spots 1 through 3 across the entire area. I think that's great. But you don't see it translated into calls. Why? Well, not enough reviews. That's the reason every single time. So it's huge. And so why is it critical to you? Because you want to grow your business. That's the simple answer. And so let's talk about some of the key principles that you need to have in place to do this. The first is, you have to give your customers a great experience. So you're not going to ask them to lie. You want to do a good job for your customers. You want them to be happy. And there's lots of books on this, lots of them. In fact, I was reading one, I don't remember what it's called, but I'm reading it right now, about home services business, how to provide this kind of experience. It's fascinating. And so you want to invest some time in making sure you're doing that and watching that closely to make sure that you deserve those good reviews. That's number one. Number two is you've got to build into your company culture. And now company culture, I hate terms like that. I don't like talking that way. It's very corporate, Fortune 500 kind of nonsense. That being said, it's true in the sense that I can presume that most of your team cares about how you do as a company because their jobs depend on it. And so part of that, you want them to care about your customers, and you want to care about your customers giving you reviews, because all those things feed together into having a great online reputation. And so if your techs are bought in and your techs ask for reviews, you're going to get more reviews. And point three is, you can't manage what you don't measure. I don't forget who said that, but it's true. And so what you measure, inspect, and celebrate, or just manage, I like that, you create more of. So keeping an eye on this, seeing how people are doing, seeing who's asking, you'll get more reviews just by paying attention to this and making it a priority. And you want to do that. And you want to use best-in-class tools to request reviews after every service call. And there's so many. Service Titan, I think, has excellent solutions here. If you're not using Service Titan, House Call Pro might also. Or you can use a tool that is separate for this, or, everybody does this differently. But you want to make sure that you're hitting all the channels. And so when you go through all those principles, which one of those are you going to work on first? And it's where's your weakness? What do you need to get better at? But by focusing on these things, you will capture positive reviews from your customers, and you will see your leads improve. And so it's just some strategies that you can implement, just some things that we see others do, and things that we see our customers do and encourage them to do and help them do, is use tools. Again, Service Titan might have them. There's things like Nearby Now. Lots of things that exist to have an automated sequence where it just happens. Or, you have input names and it happens. You want to do that. Leave a printed review card. It's a great idea. They're cheap. Print them up, put a QR code on them. Say, hey, leave us a review. It would help us out. Did we do a good job for you? It would help us out a ton if you could leave us a review. Here, just scan this QR code and drop a review. Stuff like that. It's a huge difference. Not everybody's going to do it. Most people will ignore it. But if your tech does that, they like their tech, they're happy, they had a broken spring, couldn't open their garage door, and you got right over there, got it fixed, saved their day. You got a shot. Some of them will do it. If you really want to get after it, call them after the service, check in. Hey, just want to know, like, auto dealers are really good at this. That they always bug me. I don't want to talk to you guys, like, the problem solved, but some people talk. So give them a call to talk through it, make sure they're happy, and then say, hey, if you're happy, would you mind leaving us a review? Or send an email to follow up or whatever. Just follow up with your customers. And again, build it into your company culture. So if you're going to print up these review cards, talk to techs about why it's important. You don't want them just like drop it on the table, like give them like a little script to say or whatever. Hey, just help them out, help them understand why it's important. Give them incentives. Give your techs like a bonus every review they get. Every review you get will give you a $10 bonus or whatever. I just made that up, but you know what I'm saying? Find ways to incentivize it, and you'll see more of it. And then leverage email and SMS. It's like anything else. You got to ask over and over again, all over the place to do these things. Best tools, Nearby Now is a great one. Bird Eye, I'm not a fan of, but it's on here. I don't know most of these. Service Titan's the big one for you guys. Like there's a million tools. We have a tool you can use if you want. How to respond. You want to have a system in place to make sure that every review gets tracked and measured. Have someone on your team who's responsible for this. Maybe it's the person answering the phone. Also, make sure to answer the reviews. And you're going to get bad reviews. Have a strategy in place ahead of time so you don't overreact. Because you know how it feels when you get a 1-star review. It's usually not justified. It's usually was a difficult customer who was being unreasonable, who you didn't do something that you shouldn't have done for them, or it was their fault. I mean, very rarely is a 1-star review ever justified, in my opinion. And from what I've seen, it's usually a bad customer who is not aware that they're a bad customer. We've certainly experienced that. And, you still have to respond professionally and appropriately. And you don't want that bad impression left out there, but responding professionally and keeping light about it. Don't get in an online argument and it looks bad. Just address it professionally. That'll make all the difference. And so, yeah, someone leaves a review. Don't give them a canned response. Like there's all these like AI response things out there now. Like let AI write a review. Don't do that. They're terrible. You'll know who the customer was, or somebody will. Just give them a personal response. It looks good. Customers appreciate that response. When they go to the trouble, leave your review. Leave them a nice response back. It's the right thing to do, and they'll appreciate it. So if you don't have a solution and you need some help, we do have a platform that we give our customers. It's also available to purchase if you're not a customer, where you can do this. So we call it Revenue Commander, and it helps you monitor reviews and reputation. It makes it easy to respond to reviews. We've got a multi-step review request process in there. So you take a list, you have your contacts in there, and you just add them to it, and boom, fires it off. Tries to text them a couple times, tries to email them a couple times, lets you know what's going on, lets you know if they respond. It's a very kind of complex system, but it's a good one. And tons more. This isn't just a review platform. You can do quotes in here if you don't have a good system. You can do emailing. You can do social media marketing. I mean, the amount of tools that are in here is crazy. Lots of stuff. We use it. We build our landing pages in here for our customers. Like I said, we've got the review sequences in there. You can do email marketing. You can do workflows and automations. So like when people fill out, like one pet peeve I have is when I'm filling out forms in the area because I need a local service. I filled a form, nobody ever gets back to me. It's horrible. And what I should do is call the owner and be like, hey, dude, I've just filled out your form and nobody ever got back to me. Do you know how much business you're losing? We can fix that for you. But I don't because I'm too busy. I don't know what it is. But I should call them because if it were me, I'd be mad. So you can have forms that when someone fills them out, it will respond to them. Be like, hey, we got your inquiry. Thanks so much for reaching out to us. Here's the next steps. Here's what's going to happen. And then let someone on your team know, hey, someone filled out a form. Here's what you need to do. So you can set that kind of stuff up in here, and it's great. We do it all the time. If you've ever booked an appointment with us, some people cancel because we send them so many messages, but we send so many messages because people don't show up for calls that they book. So, you're darned if you do and you're darned if you don't. But what won't happen is you won't fill out a form on my sites and you won't hear from us. So, like I said, we do offer Revenue Commander as a service. It's $97 per month with a setup fee, and it does a ton. And so that's not really the focus of the webinar, but if you're looking for a tool and you want something that can do 10,000 different things for you, this is a great one. Our customers get it, and we build a lot of stuff in there for them. So I can highly recommend it because we've built it. And another something kind of unrelated to this, but also related, is we have something new that I've been working on. And what we're doing is we're going after this. It's going to take a little bit of time, but we're going after the near me searches. So garage door near me, or garage door service near me, garage door repair near me, garage door repair Sacramento, garage door repair Cincinnati. Um, we're building something to over time compete for those keywords. And that thing is garage door list. And so you're familiar with Angie's List. It's not that. It's not really like that. But what it is a comprehensive directory of garage door companies in the US. And we are building this strategically so that this site, as it strengthens and as we do the things that we need to do to build this authority and whatnot, it will start showing up when people search for those terms. And so it will give you a chance to rank for those things. And it has, so you can go in here, claim your listing, add your logo, fill out all your stuff, and have a listing on here. And we'll also start enabling reviews. This will be another place where you can leave reviews or get reviews left, another place to have your reputation, but then also have the ability to have a featured listing. So when someone, looks for a garage door company in Cincinnati, it's going to show the garage door companies in the Cincinnati area, but it's going to feature yours, for example. And so this over time is going to be a fantastic thing. I'm looking forward to seeing how it does. And so if you're watching this, just go to garagedoorlist.com and you can add your company. You probably already have a listing on there. You may have to claim it. We will send out instructions for this along with the replay. And so feel free to grab and optimize your profile. You're going to want to get in there earlier than later. It's going to end up being a pretty neat thing. So any takeaways? Really, you just got to focus on reviews. Whatever you use, whatever you do, make this a very, very high priority for your company, and it will pay off tenfold. And so if you want our help with any of this, you know the drill. If you've been on these before, you can go to garagemarketers.com/apply now. Schedule a call with us. We'll give you a little market audit of your area, talk about what's going on there, things you can do to improve, and we'll tell you how we can help you if you're interested in that. And of course, you can just call us directly too. Jason will pick up the phone if he's not busy. He can go ahead and schedule that call with you. So that's it. Wanted to make it a short one today. Really just wanted to highlight how important reviews are, the steps you can take to get more of them, and let you know about a garage door list. So with that being said, I'll wrap this up, and we'll look forward to seeing you next month. Thanks so much.